The Shift Report with the Hood Mystic, where shift happens.
Peace to the tribe, peace to the collective. It's the Hood Mystic with another video. Hope everybody is doing well. Hope everybody is on the up and up. Just checking some things real quick. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. So today we're going to be discussing the Great Thought Deluge of 2025, where we have a Sun square Jupiter. We have the beginning of the week, and we have a lot of things going on economically and politically, which at one level, people are very confused and in a state of delusion. And at another level, we are evolving and growing at a rapid race. And so when you look at your current disposition, is it centered in growth and evolution, keeping up with the times, or is it centered in some form of being overwhelmed? A Sun square Jupiter is going to create a focus in your life, or is going to create a confusion in your life so that you can be actually focused. So, with all of this being said, just want to welcome you to my channel. Hope you enjoyed this video. As you know, we discuss things. This is going to be an astrological conversation, but I'm going to relate it to governmental things, but I'm also relating it to personal perspectives because the reason that I'm showing the governmental things because it aligns with the astrology. And then if it aligns with the astrology at a governmental level, I'm seeking to show how it can help the individual who is not a part of the government. Because at the end of the day, the people are the government. And so all of these particular people are just proxies, are just stand ins for our ignorance. So if we want to awaken, we want to be conscious, we can take over not necessarily the government, but take over our own personal way of life. My wife had told me earlier in reference to how the government, how she sees the government, whereas like we all can butt heads with the government, protest, do all of these types of things, or we could just simply do what we need to do and avoid them altogether. And so it just depends on how you look at it. You can find peace in this world, you can find ease in this world, or you can think that the government is against you. Uh, or you can begin to understand that there is a spiritual force that is awakening in people that is shifting and changing things around. I don't want people to become lazy, but I also want people to know that this thing is going to shift for us. So, how does it shift? When we want to be productive, when we want things to go in our favor, and we're moving in that present alignment, then we will see that subsequent reality. Now, there are a lot of ways to play this game called life. And so I would never claim to know the ways for everyone. My overall message is that how you want to play the game, you can play the game if you're willing to learn. So the reason that I say that is because the sun is in Aquarius. Aquarius is centered in knowledge, learning, higher education, and Jupiter being in Taurus, the planet of expansion, in this Taurus energy that's centered in financial systems, whether it be agriculture back in the day. Today it is cryptocurrency and AI and coding and websites. So most people don't get into the technology side of things. And I'm not here to judge. I'm just, I'm literally on YouTube and got websites and stuff like that. So, and I'm a regular person, I have a regular life. So, I just feel that knowledge is power, and we talk about it in the article, but I'll say it here. If you don't know anything, you can know stuff tomorrow. But if you say I don't know it, so therefore I could never know it, that's where you put yourself in a trick bag. So when we talk about crypto and we talk about AI, don't wait for everybody to be talking about it when all of this stuff is real and tangible right now. So moving forward, I got a little quick 50-second video, and then we will get into the conversation and the
They are
overall flow of
literally
the video.
falling apart, having meltdowns in public in Congress over the idea that someone as brilliant and as smart as Elon Musk would help Donald Trump find waste, fraud, and abuse to the tune of, he's looking at finding almost $4 billion a day that we can trim from the federal government, from all this spending, the blank checks that the federal government is writing to leftist Looney Tune NGOs. We're lifting the veil because of Donald Trump, because of Elon Musk, because of that kind of work. And they're just falling apart. I just get your popcorn out and watch. We're going to be more conservative. We're going to protect your taxpayer dollars than ever. And we're doing it because Donald Trump got elected, and he's working harder than any president in modern history.
So I know that people don't want to hear that, but we have to understand if Kamala Harris was president, everything would continue as status quo. And we need it not to be status quo, even to the point that people just begin to inform themselves at the very least. So, with all of this being said, check out substack.com backslash white rabbit 33. That is my Substack. And with that being said, I have an article in reference to this Sun square Jupiter energy. I'm talking about astrology, but I'm also talking about what's happening in mainstream media, and I'm also tying it into personal life. Because it's easy for people to talk about astrology and then it doesn't relate or connect to real reality things. It's just a bunch of words. What I'm trying to specifically do in this article and in this video is to help you see the energy of the day and then relate it to your own personal life. So it's, you are either in one or two camps. You are in the mumbo jumbo. I'll just say anything that sounds good and feel good. That's rhetoric. Or the materialist, everything that's going on in the White House is basically God. And the reality is those are just human beings just like you. And the more that we get into this science, the more that we get into the work, the more that we have these communications, the more that the planet is changing because these automaton robots that we call politicians work for us. But the most important part of this conceptualization is if we have to wake up. We have to activate our kundalini. We have to do the chakra work. We have to know what chakra work is. We have to do the root chakra first and then the subsequent chakras. We cannot act like we've watched a video on chakras. Therefore, we have activated our chakras. It's a daily, everyday thing. And once again, you don't have to activate chakras if you don't want to. But we do not change the outer world by engaging in the outer world. You are too powerful for that. If you are a king and you need a road built, Do you get out on the road yourself and start throwing rocks around and hammering stuff, or do you delegate? That's the role of politics when we are awakened. We are the president. We are the owners. We are the ones that are in full control. But if your chakras are not activated, you will imagine that this system is actually in control. So, what are they doing? They are sending thoughts, inundating you with thoughts, giving you floods of thoughts, you know, all types of ideas, Instagram reels, business ideas, YouTube channels that you want to start, comedy skits, reality TV, new Drake albums drop every 2 weeks. One's in the chat. New it goes Kendrick, Drake, Kendrick. It is a deluge of thoughts, and at the same time, only 3% of Americans are adopting cryptocurrency. That means 97% of Americans are not touching cryptocurrency. Now, when we look at Jupiter, we're looking at a social planet. When we look at the sun, we're looking at our expression. So these these concepts are at odds and they need to be reconciled. And the reason that they need to be reconciled is because everything changes. The issues with squares in general is that people don't want to change, but everything changes. Trees get rid of their leaves every season, still a tree. So, what major changes are you going to make? Sun in Aquarius is what are you willing to learn? What new information are you willing to learn that is going to assist your expansion? Because the square is saying that you're doing something, it is a habit or a routine, good habit, good routine. But as times change, Aquarius and Taurus, you have to change. So, of course, like your grandmother would have the checkbook that would do the receivable and the accountables, and she would balance her checkbook. Now they have apps to do that. Now, why would you be trying to balance your checkbook with an abacus or something like that? You wouldn't. You would just use a calculator. So we are in that time. We are in that major technological, realistic, cooperative transition. And human beings are cooperative beings. This is what makes us human. So you could leverage all of the information that's being presented for your benefit. But there's a flip side to that. There's a lot of BS in the world, on the internet, in the way that we process things. So link is in the description for the article. Check it out. We'll be going over this article within the conversation that we're having today. So, we're talking about the sun, which is in Aquarius, and Jupiter, which is in Taurus. So I'll just explain both energies once again and then go from there. So we have the sun in the second decan of Aquarius, which is ruled by the Six of Swords at the 18-degree mark. The 18-degree mark of Aquarius is the unmasking. So we all seen Scooby Doo. At the end of every Scooby Doo movie, they unmask the villain. Okay, for the left or Democrats, I combined Democrat and hypocrite into one word, and I came up with Democrat. Or if they was gangsters, they would be Democrats because they represent that blue side. Anyways, the sun in Aquarius is about unmasking something that is happening on the under levels that it needs to be seen, whether it's corrupt, whether it's illegal, because this illegal corrupt thing, the thing about illegal corrupt things, we were talking about this in the Chakra Nova class. But when we talk about a river, we talk about a free flowing river, which is our Jupiter aspect, our solar plexus chakra, which is related to the sun as well, because it is solar, right? So the ways that we express ourselves and send out our energy should be a free flowing, you know, transparent experience. Now, the ways of the world when you do illegal and corrupt and deceptive stuff is that you're stopping that flow. And the ways that we show up in the world, if we're not showing up in our full capacity, doing the things that we need to do, our Dharma, our duty, with full vigor, Sun and Jupiter, solar plexus chakra, let your soul glow. Right? That's another theme for this week. I'll talk about that on Friday because Sun is going to be trying Mars, which is another aspect of putting yourself out there. You have a hard time putting yourself out there if you are immoral, if you are a bad person. I know you don't like to think of yourself as a bad person, but that's the sun. The sun square Jupiter wants you to look at the fuck shit that you do and call it for what it is so you can change it, so you can alter it. Because the status quo is creating a blockage of energy that is not a part of the design of the planetary structure of the world. So it has to resolve itself. It has to reconcile itself. So Sun in Aquarius is about the collective. The collective is at a space where they must learn what is actually happening. So this is the unmasking that is taking place in the Sun realm of things. Square Jupiter in Taurus conjunct the fixed star of Aldebaran, which is the red goddess, the Rohini Nakshatra. We're coming into blood moon significance where major shifts are taking place, especially in the realms of Dharma and duty. If you know what it is that you should be doing, fine. If you have no clue, it would seem as though life keep hitting you up against the head. You can't get right. You stressed out. Everything don't feel right because it's probably something that you're not taking care of. You working all the time, but you're not exercising, or you exercising all the time, but you're not working. You care too much about your relationship, but not enough about your fitness, or you care too much about your fitness, but not enough about your relationship. It is an imbalance somewhere in your life that you have to fix. Life is going to life. Life is also going to teach you what are the things that you need to get in order. And because it is your life, because you are a spiritual being, I could tell you to stop stripping, but if your soul wants you to keep stripping, then you must continue to strip. I could say the Venezuelans might, do a child sex trafficking thing on you. You better relax. Human trafficking, kidnapping. You in them clubs shaking that booty, them Venezuelans gonna think you they property. They keep making it rain on you like that. So this is Jupiter in Aldebaran. How do you connect to others in the ways for which you making money? For sure, for sure. You making money, but what is the system for making money? There used to be Taurus, which if we get into the science of Taurus and Aleph. I wonder if you guys know this science. To early Hebrews, Taurus was the first constellation in their zodiac, and consequently, it was represented by the first letter in their alphabet, Aleph. In Greek mythology, Taurus was identified with Zeus, who assumed the form of a. They just added that in there for no reason. So when we talk about Aleph, right? Aleph is an ox, but we're also talking about the relationship to agriculture. Why is Taurus the first letter in the Hebrew alphabet, meaning the first sign that we really get to understand and digest as spiritual beings, and it is the ox. It is Aleph, related to the god El. So when we look at this, we're actually looking at a bull because we're looking. These were agricultural people. These were farmland people. And let me just say, the bull and agriculture. What is that relationship? In ancient times, ancient people used bulls for farming, to use as travel, for milk, for food, for entertainment. You ever seen the bullfighting and things of that nature? So the bull is deeply connected to money. Jupiter in Taurus is ultimately saying your money is connected to the people that you deal with. Jupiter is a social planet. So if you look at the sun being in Aquarius, which is the collective, you might not know it, but you can ask people for money. You can sell products, you can sell information, you can sell service, you can clean a car out and make some money. Taurus represents a system of finances. There are a million systems of finances, but you also have to put yourself out there. So you can have a business right now, but you're not marketing it, you're not promoting it, you're not on Google, you're not on Yelp, you don't got a Shopify store, you're not on Facebook, you're not on Instagram, you're not marketing it like the average business would, and your business is suffering because you're not up on the systems. You're not up on Taurus. Taurus is not a bull no more. It would be more like an internet or a quantum computer at this point. And then there are YouTubers, people on Twitter, people on social media that's going to teach you how to use these systems for free. You just got to want to do it. That is the social structure that's already in place that can help you assist you understand how to farm, how to do agriculture. That would just be an analogy for the ways of the system. Now, it can get confusing where it's like, okay, what is the thing that I should do? It's all of these things that's happening. What are the things that I should do? You have to awaken yourself at a spiritual level, raise Kundalini, and figure out your Dharma, figure out your duty, figure out your part to play. This is the point of spiritual work, to know what it is you should do. Because you know working at that factory ain't it. You know working at that office building ain't it. You know you got creative talent and pursuits. The best feeling in the world is to have a job and know that direct deposit is coming in the next 2 weeks, and you don't got to do nothing but meditate when you wake up. Go to your job, do the best that you can do at that job because you something in your spirit told you to get that job. Learn what you need to learn from that job, and trust that you are about to be awakened to what you need to do at the next step. Make sure you're saving enough money. Make sure you got 6 months of rent saved up. Do what you need to do in this season. That is your duty. Everybody wants something more or something better, but a lot of times, if you got a job, be grateful. If you got a place to stay, be grateful. Because if you don't have a job, it's going to be really hard to get another job. If you don't have a place to stay, it's going to be really hard to get another place to stay. If you living with somebody and y'all not on good terms, y'all need to figure it out before y'all decide, all right, I'm just about to just get on my own. Like, figure that part out because it's hard. And not to say that you shouldn't start over, but you should get into the fact of your routine more than wanting to start over. What about your routine is creating negative energy in your psyche? A better space is what are you doing that is wasting time? How do you know you're wasting time? Through your negative energy that you are generating through wasting time. You go to the job. I know if you go into a job that's not worth it is driving you up a wall. Because I felt that way in 2017. That was eight years ago. Imagine if I just said no, you gotta do it, is what people do. And I've been on interviews in those past 8 years, but it's always like I'm Jesse James or John Dillinger or Big Meech or something. Or Jeffrey Dahmer when they look at something in my file, they be like, oh hell no, we can't hire you. You had 2 speeding tickets in 1999. What was you thinking? You thought you was just gonna come here and get a job? You got a jaywalking ticket in the 80s. We want to hire you, man, but your record is so bad. You got a felony 20 years ago. I'll be like, hey, man, I guess. But at the same time, I'm not going to waste my time. I'm going to go within myself, find a thing within myself that I feel like is the most worthwhile thing to do, and I'm going to do it with my full heart. I've been like that for years. I will monetize. I will create new products. I will be creative. I will sell my ass on Craigslist. I would do a variety of things to make sure I'm not wasting time. So, how do you know if you're wasting time or not? It's called subconscious irritation. What is not wasting time? Being on your dharma. What is dharma? Dharma is the order and custom that makes life in the universe possible. This includes your personal duties, which are extended to rights, laws, conducts, virtues, and the right way of living. This is all you need to take care of. I promise you, for the entire collective, on my whole entire soul and being, on my entire YouTube channel, I promise you, as long as we all collectively follow our Dharma, everything works out. But if you waste time, if you fixate and focus on things that don't benefit you or your soul, things will not work out. The message that I've come on the earth to bring to the collective is that you are God. And I'll sit on this platform from here to the end of the whole entire universe until we realize that. Because the Vedic mythology have already said it. The Christian mythology have already said it. This is why it's so pervasive. This is why it's a Bible in every hotel room, because you are a God. You ain't gonna find nothing specific rather than a TV, a telephone, a bed in a hotel room. But why is that Bible there in that drawer? Because just on the off chance you go to Psalms 82 verse 6 and see the fact that you are a God and you are a child of the Most High. And we don't need to worry about the government because it will work itself out because we are present. We are the indigo children. We are the rainbow children. We are the crystal children. We are awakened and conscious in this time. We are in full control at a spiritual level. What is your dharma? What is your purpose? What should you be doing? So any tension you feel during this time is representing a square. A square is not tension for tension's sake. It is trying to alert you to something that you need to resolve. When you resolve that tension, when you face that challenge, when you overcome that obstacle, you don't look back and say, damn, why did I do that stupid shit? No, you actually stand there and be like, that is amazing. I didn't think that I could actually do that. I didn't think I could actually be that. I didn't think that I could actually learn that. I didn't think that I could actually make that. The keys for the individual is, where is this tension at in your life? And don't avoid the tension, go towards it. Because when you talk about your business, when you talk about your finances, Jupiter and Taurus, don't pay attention to your finances and see what happens. You won't have any to monitor. You monitor your finances and you stop that leak. And so monitoring your finances, stopping leaks, this is the same thing that is going on in the real world. I'd say wasting time. Well, did you know that there is an actual war on waste unfolding in the government? The House Department of Governmental Efficiency panel fires its first salvo in the war on waste. When you go to usaid.gov, is the first thing it says, come get your stuff. If you want your personal belongings from the Ronald Reagan building, these is the times that you can come. Only on February 27th and 28th. These people haven't even been allowed back in the building since this stuff has been happening. And we have to be aware of what's been happening. We have to be aware that there is a shift taking place in the world, and it's related to money. It's related to finances. In this video, I'm going to show you articles. I'm going to show you documentation that the world is changing that they're not going to show you on the news. And astrologers are not going to talk about it because astrologers are rhetorical. Astrologers and spiritualists are assumptive. They assume that you doing the best thing that you can do, you're a good person and everybody else is bad. Because if I'm assumptive, then you're going to be my friend. And if you're my friend, you'll give me money and I'll be fine cuz you're supporting me. But no, that's not this is the problem. This stops the flow of the river. You don't need to idealize, you don't need to pedestalize anybody except your soul because the world is the world. Once you get into this, you get into a real deep conversation with your soul. Your soul is going to begin to alert you about the world that you live in. It is going to alert you about the people that you deal with, the people that you know. When you are not awakened, you want to be around these people that don't like you, that don't want to be around you in the first place. When you awaken to spirit, you're fine being by yourself. You don't have as many friends because you're trying to figure out the world around you. You're not just trying to assimilate into a burning building. So the House Department of Governmental Efficiency is starting the war on waste. The war on waste is the stamping out the scourge of improper payments and fraud. This is from Chairwoman Marjorie Taylor, a Republican out of Georgia, meaning she repping what Trump is about. Trump's administration's efficiency initiatives as tools to address the ever increasing national debt. Now, let's be clear, they're not dealing with the national debt. The national debt is like a pot of boiling water being spilt on the floor, and the government trying to capture all of the water and put all of the water back in the pot, but clean though. How are you going to do that? You can't do that. So you don't even have to be a genius to know that you're not going to pay a 36 trillion and growing amount of national debt. So what generally happens when you spill the pot of boiling water on the floor? You fill up a new pot with new water. So we're going to have a global financial reset because there is not a such thing as taxpayer money that is going to, create the things that we need to create when they're printing money free as a dove. And this system that they're creating is not going to prevent them from printing out free money. All that I'm seeing is that it's going to redirect who they're going to give the free money to, and why do you need free money? And this is where we come in at. Think about why you need free money moving forward. And if you can come up to a conclusion of why you need free money and what you're going to use this free money for, you have access to free money. These people, you can't give out trillions of dollars and then not give everybody a chance. This is what's going to create a global reset. So I'm saying all of this to say the first step is to identify that the waste is taking place. So let's bring this back to an individualistic aspect. How do we determine how do we determine what is wasteful in our lives? By how it makes us feel, by the subconscious implication. And then how do we get into a space of doing what is not wasteful? First of all, we need to do the inner work, the meditation work, the waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning work, the deeper meditation work to get to a clarity, and then structure our day based upon how we want our day to look and live in that bliss. The answers will come. You have to do inner work and you have to do structure work. You have to make a decision. I'm going to learn this. I'm going to try this. I'm going to watch this. I'm going to meditate on this. If you have an idea, fuck around and find out. So, what does this imply? If the government is forced to confront mismanaged resources, trillions of dollars in blank checks that have been given to people, carte blanche, what have you been doing energetically? Have you given your job? Have you given your job a majority of your energy? What have they given you in return? Have you given your partner a majority of your energy, but you got $20 in your bank account? What are you doing? That is the question. What are you doing financially? What are you doing with your time? And then once you figure that out, what are those things that are wasteful? Cut them out. That is a square. You don't deal with the square in a space of managing. You make decisions. Decisions means cut, clear, straight to the point. This is what I'm going to do. And if you feel frustrated in any way, rejoice. If you feel frustrated in your relationship, if you feel frustrated in your job, rejoice, because it's automatons that work in that building that love going to that building. Be grateful that you're not an automaton and you can see a different way. It's going to cause you to realign. It's going to sit and learn things, but the more you learn, it's going to create a fire in you that's going to want to learn more, but you have to start. So I'm gonna play. We're gonna have a little cut scene, and then we'll get to the second part of this video, discussing the Sabian symbol and the different parts
That's the
for reference
problem
to the
that I
conversation.
see with all this Doge stuff,
Right.
because everybody should be celebrating that we've found a way to cut out fraud and waste.
Yeah.
If you pay taxes and you don't like that you have to pay so much in taxes, and then you find out that there's significant fraud and waste that's been exposed, you should be celebrating it. This shouldn't be, oh no, the wrong people found this fact and now it's a bad thing.
Yes.
And then there's the fucking propaganda, the mindfuck of calling it U.S. aid
Yeah.
instead of the United States Agency for International Development. It sounds like it's feeding hungry people.
Right.
People are going to starve, Elon. This is horrible. And then you find out actually it's like $250 million for transgender animal studies. Like,
Yeah,
it's
they're
like
literally mutilating animals.
yes. Yes.
Mutilating animals in demented studies
Yes.
that are like the worst thing you could possibly imagine from a horror show.
The beagle one. The beagle puppy
Hor-
one.
horrific,
Yeah,
yeah.
where they covered their head in a basket and put fleas on their heads so they'd eat them alive.
Yeah.
And then they studied these beagles and then killed them. Like, what are you going to learn from that that's good for anybody?
Yeah. This some psychotic stuff that happens. So, yeah. I mean I guess the real threat here is to the bureaucracy. So, like you probably saw, like, let's say like Trump as a threat to our democracy, which is ironic since he was elected with a majority of the popular vote. They started saying I was a threat to democracy. But if you just replace threat to democracy with threat to bureaucracy, it makes total sense.
Right.
So, I mean, the reality is that our elected officials have very little power relative to the bureaucracy until Doge. So Doge is a threat to the bureaucracy. It's the first threat to the bureaucracy. Normally the bureaucracy eats revolutions for breakfast. This is the first time that they're not, that the revolution might actually succeed, that we could restore power to the people instead of power to the bureaucracy.
Now, the size of it
Yeah.
was when you guys first started investigating it, when you first get in, how much of it was shocking? Like this, just the size of it all.
And so Jupiter, Sabian symbol, is a woman holding a bag out of a window, which represents emptying the mind, distortions of thought, belief, and habit purified through meditation and open mindedness. If you got a job, hallelujah. You got an apartment, hallelujah. Cry tears of joy. Because now you have a space where you can meditate and be free and allow the ideas to come. Go do that shift. Maximize that shift. Learn as much as you can during that shift. When that shift is over, implement the things that you were thinking about during your meditation. Put the work in. Empty the mind. Have no preconceived notions, because as the world is going through a factory reset, you carrying shit into a factory reset, it don't even read. People so caught up in what happened in the last 30 years to 300 years, from slavery to the crack epidemic to redlining to all of that, is all conscious attempts to subvert the reality that you are a spiritual being having a human experience. You are not black, you are not white, you are not a man, you are not a woman, you are a spiritual being. If you are a black man or a black woman, you will never empty your mind, because there's too much shit that you got to deal with. Your hair too kinky, your lips is too fat, you too broke, you too dusty. All of these particular constructs that may be true in a particular dimension, but in the spiritual dimension, you are God. They have to listen to you. They have to follow your orders. When you tell them, you look them in the eye, and they see that your eye is a person who have raised kundalini from the root chakra, from the sacral chakra to the solar plexus chakra. Your heart chakra is balanced. You are speaking in the space of John chapter 1 verses 1. In the beginning was the word, and in the beginning the word was God. God was the word. That is activating from the fifth chakra. What is the government going to say to a person like that? What is a supervisor going to say to a person like that? But you have not done the work. You are still mad that they cut your hours from 40 hours to 30 hours. But God did that so you can have 10 more hours of meditation. You need to activate your spiritual consciousness, because we all are going to transition off the body. We all turn into butterflies. We either turn into butterflies or we turn into moths. This is the reality. What is your transition going to be? That of a butterfly or that of a moth? How do I get there? You empty your mind. There are solutions tomorrow. There are actions tomorrow. You can get there. Empty your mind. Stop carrying the deluge, the floods of thoughts, all of the stuff that's happening, and try to reconcile it and factor it out. If you want to unmask what is holding you back, empty your mind, meditate before you start the day. Hood, why are you saying meditation? This is a Sabian symbol article. I'm not making it up. You always telling us to meditate. This is the only thing that we have as spiritual beings to self-actualize and become self-aware. Until we do that, we are at mercy to a game that we don't win at. We don't win in the physical game, we win in the spiritual game. But we have to empty our mind of all of these concepts. A distortion of thought is saying that you are a black woman. No, you're not. You're a spiritual being having a human experience. You have experienced life as a man, white woman, Chinese man, Chinese woman. Every single race have lived through your DNA. When you just identify the one present reality, it might make sense logically, but we're not in a logical conversation at this point. We are in a metaphysical, occult, esoteric conversation, and we are cultivating who we are from the inside out. in full cultivation, we don't need any distortions. We don't need any false beliefs. We talked about this earlier. Habits, routines. This habit and routine is telling you what your life should be. Your habit and routine is telling you what your life should be. That should scare you. That should worry you. Therefore, get out of those habits, get out of those routines. The first thing you do is nothing. What a lot of people try to do is replace habit with another habit, and that's cool, but no, do nothing and develop it from a purified, meditative, and open minded state. Because we're talking about the emotional, intellectual baggage that's tied into what you should do moving forward. We have Jupiter in Taurus, which deals with the financial sector or symptoms, or systems rather. Taurus is Aleph. Aleph is an ox. A ox is an agricultural plow. That's the word I was looking for. Archaeologists and anthropologists generally agree that social inequality when humans transition from hunting and gathering to agricultural lifestyles. But according to this new research paper, it's sparked by agricultural. This page is tweaking. I'm gonna read it, but I'm gonna get off this page because it can. Anyways, this type of information, the whole system shut down. Trying to talk about that shit, man, crazy. Anyways, the ox, the plow, agriculture, money. This is when people started getting rich when they started instituting plows. Because before the ox, we had to do it by hand. So the ox actually freed people up to begin to start to study and understand things, which is the first god is a bull. Osiris is a bull. These concepts in reference to bull technology is like literal technology that have transitioned into this day as cryptocurrency, artificial intelligence, computer science, things of that nature. Understanding how computers work, understand how people work on computers, all of these things are normal ways that people make money and how they'll continue to make money now. So before we get into the information that I'm about to get into, let's do a cognitive bias check. What is cognitive biases? Cognitive biases are common systematic human errors in judgment and decision making that may be caused by motivational factors, adaptations to an environment, or cognitive limitations. There is information, which is why your belief, which is why your bias, what you value, is not counting on the information or your beliefs. Is like a small sliver of reality that you have carved out, that you validate yourself is how you raise your kids, how you raise your grandchildren, but it's a bunch of boo boo. It's a bias. A bias is an error. In reference to this particular energy that we're talking about, you need to have an open mind. You can't have an open mind and bias at the same time. You have to fuck around and find out. So, in what area or context are we talking about? We're talking about in the area or context in reference to money and finances. Trump sends crypto prices soaring after surprise announcement of strategic government reserve. Cryptocurrency. This is March 3rd. This article came out today. This is what's happening right now. So take all of your cognitive biases and you know what to do with them. Because the person will say, I don't deal with cryptocurrency, but the country is dealing with cryptocurrency and the world's still not dealing with cryptocurrency. This, if you're hearing this message, this is for you to learn so you can be ahead of the curve. But if you have confirmation bias or cognitive dissonance, keep saving cash. So, once again, cryptocurrency prices jump after President Donald Trump's surprise announcement he wants the US government to purchase and hold a variety of digital assets in a strategic reserve fund. An announcement that highlights Trump's growing attempts to use volatile cryptocurrency prices as a barometer of his public support. Trump also said that he will include lesser known cryptocurrencies like XRP, Solana, and Cardano, like literally telling you what you should be paying attention to. This is not financial advice, but once again, cognitive bias, cognitive dissonance will have you not even figuring out. You don't even know what XRP is. You don't even know what Solana is. You don't even know what Cardano is. XRP is cryptocurrency for banks that a lot of banks are instituting as we're having this conversation, and millions of people are already using Solana for meme coins. Cardano, that's another specialty coin. But once again, he is investing from my observation, he is really investing in cryptocurrency in coins that will be used for purposes. So it makes sense to have it when people need it. So what you can do now is buy these coins now with a raise in value over these next 2 to 3, 4 years while he's president. Maybe at the end, you cash out in 4 years, you've made a sound investment based upon you studying something that is actually happening right now. That today, when he made that announcement, crypto went crazy yesterday. My crypto went up like 20% in one day yesterday. So I'm saying all of that to say it's available for y'all to tap into crypto.com. Get your own wallet, whatever information you want to get into to learn, you must learn it. You can't rely on other people to learn it for you because at the same time, it's a lot of scammers. And the current Bitcoin global adoption is only 3%. I mean, there's 97% more people that might be privy to this information coming in the near future, especially since United States have created a crypto reserve on its treasury books. Do you have a crypto reserve? Do you have any knowledge towards cryptocurrency? I'm talking real knowledge. Not I was in this scammer group where they was just paying $200 a month and all this weird shit. Knowledge, I ain't saying knowledge is free. I ain't saying information is free, but to a certain level, come on now. So really, I just want to move us into a conclusion in reference to this Sun square Jupiter energy. If you want more of where this came from, click the link in the description, read the article in full. If you are not a paid member, it will be a full, you can use a free pass to, tap in, see what the paid articles is like, things of that nature. Or you could just join for $5, get early access, or you could just wait till Saturday. This full article, will be released for free. So, and I'm doing this because I want to give people who have already bought into the Substack a little bit more perks. That's kind of my goal moving into this week. So, for those who have took the time out to invest that $5 a month, I appreciate you. That $55 for the year, I appreciate you. So, but to summarize this video, right? We're talking about a Sun square Jupiter. Squares rather, present us with challenges. And it's a lot of challenges that we face, especially in the realms of mental focus, which Aquarius rules. However, you might have a lot of thoughts, you might have a lot of ideas. If you are overwhelmed, if you don't know where to start, you have to pull out a journal, pull out a notebook, start writing stuff down, start structuring your day. These are the ideas that I have. You might have 20 ideas. Which one of those ideas is actionable? Underline the actionable ideas. Create an action plan for those actionable ideas. That is how you structure your day. Do not have mental clutter. Do not be distracted. Do not be just constantly thinking about all of these things that you can do but don't actually do. That is a distraction. If you working at a 9 to 5, you stuck in a rat race, be grateful, because it's a lot of people who don't have that job. It's a lot of people that don't have that apartment that would, cut off their left nut for the opportunity to just have a place that they call their own home. So don't be upset, be grateful, but continuously look how your life will look in this next year. Not how it will look externally, how will it look internally? Will you get closer to your soul over this next year? Will you create a sense of awareness where you're not smoking crack no more? You're not getting drunk every Friday or Saturday. You're not doing Percocets no more. Like, what internally thing are you changing within yourself? What habits, routines? You stop watching pornography. What are those inner things that? Because the thing about Aquarius is like all your ancestors is like looking at you. So your ancestors looking at you jack off in the middle of the night, that's kind of crazy. They seeing what kind of porn you into. You don't want grandma to see you jacking off, so stop jacking off. Especially while the sun is in Aquarius, right? But if there is on another note, if there is something that you feel existential nagging to do, do it, right? This is what you call fucking around and finding out. And as long as we can do that, everything will work out. So make sure y'all check out the article. Make sure y'all check out Chakra Nova 777. Link is in the description. We got the Discord popping with everybody that's joined the course, having the conversation. Join now. Link is in the description. Use promo code YouTube40 for 40% off. We have done 3 classes so far. We got 4 more classes left, and still a lot more growth available for those that are looking for it. We're talking about true Kundalini activation, rife with meditations, Kundalini techniques, a day for day worksheet. So we've actually been on chakra work every day, lecture every Sunday, but additional support in the Discord from your fellow classmates and from moi. So with all that being said, check out all the things that I'm offering. Links is in the description. I appreciate everybody for tapping in. to this edition of the Shift Report. I am your host, the Hood Mystic. This is where shift happens. For all other questions, comments, and concerns, find me at Instagram at the Hood Mystic. Spam my DMs. I really get into that type of stuff. But with all that being said, y'all have a wonderful, wonderful day. And I'll catch y'all on the flip side or the next video. Peace.
The Shift Report with the Hood Mystic, where shift happens.